Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we finally got a lovely update about the Pokemon Go V Battle Decks. We've got the information, or at least some of it, that we've been waiting for, and I, for one, am absolutely delighted. We've been waiting for these, ladies and gentlemen, and now we have them. So first things first, we've been waiting for a little while to know what the difference was between the main and the double pack. We know that the double pack is $10 more than buying them separately, $40 rather than $30. We know that we get 2 booster packs, but we also were going to be getting 11 additional trainers, including 5 foil. Well, now we know what they are. You get 2 copies of Rare Candy, 2 copies of Lure Module, and 2 copies of Egg Incubator. That is confirmed, that has been officially revealed. And then the holos you get are Professor's Research and Boss's Orders. Now, Professor's Research, it looks like, are going to have the Pokemon Go code on, and they're holo, and I'm fairly sure we haven't seen holo Professor's Research Professor Willow before. So, if nothing else, these are cool and exclusive, and I am delighted. Also, I think these are the sticker sheets. I could be wrong about that. Oh, just a little bit of a look at the little cardboard deck boxes. But do remember those deck boxes don't really count because they don't fit sleeved decks, so no. But we've also had a look at the deck list, and one thing I need to remind you guys going into this. These are decks which are designed for new players. These are simple decks made with simpler cards to help people learn the game. If you want to go and buy pre-made very competitive decks, that's what the League Battle Decks are made for, ladies and gentlemen. They've got your back. These are not the same products. I do often see people complaining that, well, you know, the V Battle Decks aren't competitive enough. Yeah, but the League Battle Decks are a thing, and they're exactly what you're looking for. So, I'm not entirely sure what the problem is. Now, as always, I cannot tell you exactly what all of the cards are for fairly obvious reasons. If the Pokemon are in Pokemon Go, I think it's fair to assume which one it is. Otherwise, we're going to have to do a little bit of creative guessing. I hope that's okay with you guys. So, starting off with the Mewtwo deck, obviously we do get 1 copy of Mewtwo V. And it is an alternate art. It is not the same one that we find in the set. It's got different artwork. Now, we then get a free 2 line of Hatterene, and I am assuming that this is the one from Chilling Reign with Witch Rondo. Everything else is a bit older, and I don't think it could be some of the older ones, but I'm guessing it's the one with Witch Rondo. Once during your turn, you may switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench. If you do, your opponent switches their active with one of their bench. It's quite a cool little ability. All the other Hatterene are quite a lot older, so I'm not saying it's definitely this one, but I am saying that if you ask me to guess, and let's face it, that is the point of this video, I think it is extremely likely that that's the one that it is. Now, we've also then got a free 2 line coming in of Starmie, and this has to be the one from Brilliant Stars, because this deck only plays Psychic Energy, and this is the only Starmie we've had in the Sword and Shield block, which uses Psychic Energy rather than Water Energy. It does 10 damage plus 30 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active for a single energy. It's not too bad, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen. It's not too bad. Now, we have a 2-1 line of Chinchino here, and this one is a little bit perplexing to me. Because on the one hand, we did get the Chinchino from Brilliant Stars. That is the one that's kind of terrible. 2 energy, flip 3 coins, 50 damage for each heads. It could well end up being that one. Even though it's quite a lot older, I kind of want it to be the one from Sword and Shield, the one that's got the draw engine. Discard a card from your hand, draw 2. Seems like an old card to put in a new deck, but the new Chinchino is terrible, so I kind of hope it is that one. Now, we've then got 2 copies of Lunatone, and this one has to be the one from Pokemon Go. It would be weird if they didn't put the Pokemon Go ones in. 30 damage, base, plus 30 more for each Psychic Energy attached to Lunatone. Cool. Sounds good to me, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds good to me. I really like this. I like it more with Solrock, which isn't in the deck, which is a little bit weird. But never mind, ladies and gentlemen. I like it anyway. And then finishing off, we've got ourselves a couple copies of Indeedee. And again, Indeedee isn't in the set, so it's got to be another one. I'm assuming it's the one from Fusion Strike here, because firstly, that's a psychic Pokemon, and secondly, it's got Call for Family, which helps you set up, which makes the most sense. I actually really like the Indeedee from Battle Styles. Does 10 damage for each card in your hand. But I think it's fair to assume this is going to be the one from Fusion Strike, given that this is a psychic deck after all. And yes, I know they can put colourless ones in there, but where there is a psychic version, I think that makes the most sense. And we talk about this every time when we get these deck lists with just a list of Pokemon. Until somebody opens it, we can't know for absolute 100% certain, but this does seem like by far the most sensible suggestion. We then get ourselves 2 copies of Barry, which is not a particularly great card, I'll be honest with you. That's the one that lets you draw free cards. It's a very generic kind of card, honestly. It's your standard draw free cards. It's not good, alright? No one's getting particularly excited about Barry. We've then got ourselves 2 copies of Bugcatcher. That is the one whereby you draw 2 cards and flip a coin. If heads, you draw 2 more. Again, this is your starter for 10 supporter card. It's one that you'll see in these theme decks, but it's not one that's realistically going to actually see any play in competitive decks. Sorry about that. We've then got 2 copies of Egg Incubator. That is a new card from the set. Flip a coin. If heads, search for a basic Pokemon and bench it. If tails, put it on the bottom of your deck. Well, you're either going to want to put it on the bottom of your deck to stop decking out or search for a basic Pokemon. Either way, the coin flip could go against you, and I'm not a big fan. We've got a copy of Energy Switch here. Lets you move an energy from one Pokemon to another. I mean, this is a good card. It sees a bunch of play. It's a staple in a whole bunch of decks. It moves energy. It's a good card. You've probably got a million of these already, but if you don't, you are going to need some Energy Switch at some point, so that's kind of cool. We've got 2 copies of Evolution Incense. That lets you search for an evolved Pokemon. It's a good card that sees a whole bunch of play. It's pretty great. 4 copies of Great Ball, which lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck and find yourself a Pokemon. Really good card, sees a whole bunch of play. 3 copies of Lure Module. Now, this is a new card from the set. Each player reveals the top 3 cards of the deck and puts all Pokemon they find into their hand. It's a cool card, but it is also one of those cards that helps both players the same, so not sure how often you're really going to want to play it. 2 copies of Shauna. This is a Shuffle Draw 5. It's not seeing as much play now as it used to back in the day, but it's still a very, very cool card that is going to see play in some decks here and there. It's a decent supporter. It's certainly better than stuff like Barry and Bugcatcher, put it that way. I quite like Shauna. I've played it in decks in the past. And then we've got 1 copy of Switch. I mean, look, it's Switch, alright? Switch is a card we've seen since the base set, which carries around. You switch your active with one of your bench. Simple as. There we go. There's a copy in here. And then 18 copies of Psychic Energy, because it's a Psychic deck, you need your Psychic Energy. Now, moving over to the Melmetal deck, obviously you get 1 copy of Melmetal V. It's not a particularly great card. 2 energy, 50 damage, attach a Psychic from your hand to it, or 3 energy, 140. We all know it's supposed to VMAX, but the VMAX isn't in this deck. We've then got a 4-3 line of Galarian Berserker. Now, I'm assuming this is the one from Fusion Strike. Searches for 2 basic energy and attaches to your Pokemon in any way you like, because it's the only one that isn't super old at this stage, and it does seem to fit with a deck. Can't absolutely guarantee, but I think it's extremely likely that this is the one from Fusion Strike, plus it helps you set up your Melmetal, which is, clearly a pretty nice thing. We've then got ourselves a 3-3-2 line of Unpheasant, and this is going to be the one from Pokemon Go, because it kind of has to be, right? It's Pokemon Go. Now, 2 energy, flip 4 coins, 70 damage for each heads. I like it. It's on a stage 2, but in a theme deck format, If you can flip a couple of heads, this is actually really good. Real tournaments, no. Theme deck specific? This is good. Now, we then got ourselves 3 copies of Cobalion, and it has to be the Cobalion from Chilling Reign because that's the only Sword and Shield Cobalion. 3 energy, 130. It's not terrible, but if you are using Galarian Berserker to get your energy out and start building up bigger Pokemon, this actually seems to work. For a theme deck, if you can get this rolling, this is actually a pretty powerful theme deck. And then we got ourselves a couple copies of Magearna, which I'm assuming kind of has to be the one from Vivid Voltage, because it's literally the only Magearna in the Sword and Shield set. There is no newer one. This is the one whereby you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw 6 cards. It's fine. It's decent shuffle draw on a basic Pokemon. Again, in a theme deck format, this seems to work. We've then got a very similar, though not identical, trainer list here. So again, we got 4 Barry to let you draw cards. We've got 2 Bugcatcher to let you draw cards. We've got a couple of Egg Incubator to potentially get your basic Pokemon. We've got a couple of Evolution Incense. We've got 4 copies of Great Ball. You'll notice we've skipped over Energy Switch. We've got 3 copies of Lure Module. We've got 2 copies of Shauna, 1 copy of Switch, and 1 copy of Metal Saucer. So the trainer lines are very similar, but we've switched 1 energy switch for Metal Saucer. Metal Saucer lets you attach a metal energy from your discard to one of your bench metal Pokemon. That's clearly a very good card. Going to rotate in the new year, but at least for now it's pretty good. And then again, 18 energy. My only real disappointment here is there aren't that many Pokemon Go cards in this Pokemon Go set. In the Mewtwo deck, you've just got your 2 Lunatone, and in your Melmetal deck, you've got your Unpheasant line, and that really is it. And then both decks do come with Egg Incubator and Lure Module. But you get your alternate art cards, which I love, and you get all your extra bits. I do think if you're going to buy these, the double pack is the one that makes the most sense, because you get all the extra cards, a couple of booster packs, etc. That's probably what I'm going to end up going for. But honestly, I just like the alternate art cards. I'm very easy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very easy. But now I want to hear from you guys. I want to know which of these you're going to be picking up, if either of them. I want to know if you're going to get the double set. I want to know what you think of them. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.